Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me is Sumit as we look at the evolving developments as far as Bangladesh is concerned and 𝗤𝗍 𝗲𝘓 𝗏𝗡. Where is she going to go? US has denied her visa. We don't know if she applied for it even. Now, this is very interesting as to why United States denied her the visa. We're going to come to that. We're also going to touch upon many other things. And one of the things that we're going to touch upon is who is the dummy? Who is that dummy that is going to be the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? All this and more with Sumit Peer. Sumit Peer ji, Ram Ram, Radhe Radhe, Jai Sri Ram, how are you?
Jai Sri Ram, Radhe Radhe, all good and fine, sir. By the grip of Lord Mahakal and your Ashirwad, and Namaskaram to all our viewers. So on public demand, yesterday we were supposed to do in English, but we did in Hindi. So today we have shifted back to English. So we are compensating for yesterday.
Yes, indeed. And viewers, I hope you had a chance to watch the very erudite Lieutenant General Jaishankar come on our channel at 6 p.m. to talk about Bangladesh with 3 other generals. Very, very, deep, in-depth talk about what are the different things going on, what are at play. And I think the political aspect was not touched upon a lot, which is what we are going to be touching upon. We think that we have decoded this. We also think that Dr. Jaishankar has decoded this. But let me set the context for you just a little bit. Vicotria Nuland came to Bangladesh, I think, a couple of years ago. I think that's where the ball started rolling. Now, Nuland is out. Unfortunately, her, what I would call Sancho Panza, 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆, a Bihari parents-born girl with an active hatred for Hindu and Indians. This is the girl that is now managing. She is the expert in the Department of State as far as all matters South Asia are concerned. They have a boss in between called Donald Lu. The less said, the better about this person. I don't think he knows a lot, but he came and made a lot of threats at Imran Khan. You know that part. So anyway, between the two of them, they are making a royal hash of things. That's all I can say. Both of them are making a royal hash of things. As an American, I'm aghast at what is going on. I'm still thinking that maybe it is China that is doing it, but all indications are pointing to this being from the CIA playbook. This is what I'm going to say. Well, let's see what Sumit ji has to say. Over to Sumit ji. But before that, please like this video. Very, very important, because we are going to be looking at angles that you probably have not heard from other people. Over to you.
Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Sree Ganesha, let's do the Sree Ganesha today. And my request, kindly, immediately, and now like this video, because liking is very important for this video to go far and wide. That's why we are doing in English, so that we can have audiences across the globe. Kindly like this video. Kindly push the button right now. Okay, good. Now let's come to the topic. Look, today, after 𝗤𝗍 𝗲𝘓 landed yesterday, she landed, and first we were talking of the Agartala and then Calcutta and all. Finally, it is Hindon Air Base in Ghaziabad. Ghaziabad is around 20 kilometers from Delhi. So practically, this is the one of the very big air bases of Indian Air Force, one of the very strategic air bases, which is very adjoining to Delhi, because here to Delhi is 20 minutes drive. Again, Hindon comes in UP. UP is where Yogi Adityanath is the chief minister. So that means BJP has the state government, and the central government of BJP or the Delhi is around a stone's throw away. So, and Hindon is a very, very secured place. All of our strategic assets most of them are at Hindon when we look at this region of this part of the country. So she landing at Hindon means there's something important. Now, there were a lot of speculation, there was a lot of rumors, there were a lot of things, what is happening, what had happened in Bangladesh. So it all came to when there was a meeting in the morning. There was an all-party meeting. Before that, Ajit Dovalji met 𝗤𝗍 𝗲𝘓. There was a speculation that Modi ji will be meeting her, but that did not happen. At least we don't have any information on that. And then in the morning, there was a all-party meeting where all parties agreed that they will work with government and they will, support government on whatever the decisions government takes on it. Now, around 2:30, Dr. Jaishankar was supposed to go and talk to the parliament what exactly happened. Right. So, basically, what are the things which are coming to the light? Couple of things which are coming to the light. Couple of developments which are very, very important. Dr. Jaishankar briefed the parliament what exactly happened. He started from, look, there was a protest. After the protest, there was this quota agitation. Then the Supreme Court came in. Supreme Court quashed down the protest. But unfortunately, the crowds could not be controlled. By that time, a lot of disturbance and violence had started. For some point of time, there was a lull. Again, it erupted, and it finally reached to a stage wherein the people were getting killed, the minorities, their properties, their livelihoods were getting attacked, and Sheikh Hasina, in that circumstances, and in those circumstances, decided to resign. And even then, we all of a sudden, that is India, all of a sudden got a request from Bangladesh that she wants to come here, and all of a sudden we got another request for a helicopter clearance to come into India. So this all happened very, very fast. It happened around 2:30 to 3 in the afternoon yesterday, and that is how Sheikh Hasina has landed here. She landed in Hindon, and now she's at an undisclosed location due to security reasons. She's momentarily here, she's temporarily here. She'll be going on her way forward, which Dr. Jaishankar did not specify which country and all, but temporarily, momentarily, she's here and she's going on the way forward. That is what the statement on the House of the Parliament was. Then Dr. Jaishankar also makes a very compelling point that we as Indians are concerned about the security and life and business of the minorities, which essentially means Hindus. He did not use the word Hindus, but he said minorities. Now, what has happened? I think when this all thing happened yesterday, we have deployed, I think we have doubled or tripled the BSF around the Bangladesh border, because Bangladesh border is like a U. So we have tripled the BSF there. All their chuttis and everything has been cancelled. Till yesterday or till today, all the flights going to Dhaka were cancelled. We have 8 or 9 trains going into Bangladesh. They have been again cancelled. Now, what we heard today that the flights will be resumed, I think tomorrow or something. And Dr. Jaishankar said that our people in Bangladesh, where we have 1 high commissioner and we have 3, those kind of, what do you call them, smaller versions. They are not high commissioners, but there is where a deputy high commissioner kind of a person sits. We have 3 of them in there. He noted, and all of them are in touch with the current dispensation. The current dispensation means essentially the army here. We are in touch with them. And what the grapevine says and what is now officially confirmed is that Sheikh Hasina was given 45 minutes to leave the country, practically because the person, the general, was taken over, the chief of the army staff, who was appointed by Sheikh Hasina 6 months back, is married to a cousin sister of Sheikh Hasina. So practically the Sheikh Hasina and the general are related. Usually in an Islamic setup, you don't let anybody go alive. So even if the general let her go alive, that is a big favor he is doing. But if we look at Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, what happened? Nobody was let to go. Nobody was let to go away. So this was again the situation management, and India had to respond very, very fast to developing situation. They said, okay, come in. They said, okay, please land your helicopter here. And helicopter landed in, I think it was C-120 of Bangladesh Air Force. It landed somewhere in Hindon. And from Hindon, she was received by the commanding officer there. And there, where she is, we don't know. And she's going to be in India. Her safety and security is paramount to us. We have to protect her. We have to save her. By the time the things settle out, this is what the Dr. Jaishankar had to say. He kind of summed the whole turmoil. Now, let me put in my political perspective, what I'm getting to know from the ground. What I'm getting to know from the ground from all my sources is that what we know and what is reported in media is just tip of the iceberg. The situation in Bangladesh is pretty critical, and things can go anyway. Things can go north, things can go south, things can go anyway. And it's unfortunate that Bangladesh is unfortunately becoming more like a black box to us. We don't actually know what is really happening there. And yesterday is, even if I go by the admission of Dr. Jaishankar, it is very clear and evident that we were taken by a surprise. We anticipated things are going wrong. We know they were going wrong, but we did not anticipate that ghanton mein hisab ho jayega. And in a few hours, it will all, the Prime Minister of the country had to leave the country. We would have imagined that. Now, whatever you want to call it, you may call it. Whatever we want to cost as persons, we may cost it. But it all happened very, very fast. It happened as a matter of few hours. And 45 minutes was the time she was given to make it or break it. And she took that offer. She left along with her sister. Now, we know for sure Hindus are targeted there. All the Hindu temples across Bangladesh are getting targeted. There was one secretary of Awami League. He was tied to a tree, then lynched and burnt alive. There was one more incident wherein a hotel was set fire belonging to somebody in Awami League. 24 people who were living in that hotel burned alive. There was an instance wherein there was a police station. 20 policemen were there. It was set fire. 13 of them were Hindu. it was killed. So the killings and rampages happening. They looted the palace. They were displaying the lingeries of Sheikh Hasina, who is not their mothers but their grandmother's age. So it is all taken over by Islamist and jihadist. It is not a students' movement. And let me also report you one important thing. She said, yesterday I have seen videos wherein you have a military truck, and above the military truck there are people, protesters, who are showing ISIS flags. Black color ISIS flags were seen yesterday. And when protesters entered the Bangladeshi parliament, when black flags were seen of ISIS, remember there's an ISIS Quran element which is quite active in Bangladesh today. But they are quite active there. They are not dominant there. So ISIS flags are seen when they enter the parliament, and the one nara or the one slogan what we hear is Nalai Takbir Allahu Akbar. So I don't know how does it have, what it has to do with the student protest. Now these people went to the prison. These went to the prison. I think I can't remember the name. It's a Bengali name, wherein all these Islamic preachers and radicals were kept. So they went there and they freed them. The jailer was a Hindu. They tried to kill him, but he somehow fled. He fled the scene, and his life was saved. And all these radicals and all, there's a jailbreak. All these Islamic radicals, preachers, and all these terrorists, and all of them are out now. Not only that, yesterday when Sheikh Hasina landed in India, the president of Bangladesh issued an order that Khalida Zia, who was in jail, and let her come out. So Khalida Zia is out. So this is the situation. It is evolving. Violence is still erupting. Violence is not getting under control. Now, basically, who are the people behind it and what has happened? The people behind it is basically, it started with the student wing of Jamaat-e-Islami. It is believed that the Pakistani ISI infiltrated the wing, and with a lot of fake handles and all, they were flaring up the passions of the people. They mobilized the youth, and few hundred videos of Sheikh Hasina's atrocities were made, doctored and all. But whatever I want to say, around 350 people also got killed. We cannot run away from that. So we are doctored, and this hyperbola was created. Now, if you look at the planning, the way it was done, it was a very meticulous planning done. As per Times of India last night, our intelligence agencies are saying that it is China and it is ISI who has worked directly with this. Now, how it has worked, we'll come to that. And there's an American hand also in it. We'll also going to comment that. Now, what you see, there was a lot of meticulous planning which was worked out. And one of the part of the planning was, do not send money to Bangladesh. All the expats were told not to send money to the banking booths of Bangladesh. Now, when the money is not coming to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh's economy had already was showing visible cracks now. It was not a good doing economy. It was showing visible cracks. When the money was stopped, it was to pressurize the government more. So if we look into the logic of things, there was a set of things put in. This, if this doesn't work, this, if this doesn't work, this. So they had a very sequence of things planned. Now, who did the planning and where was the planning done? Now, it will be a very important question. The planning was done by Sheikh Hasina's son, who is the leader of BNP right now, who is not in jail. It is believed
not
that
Sheikh Hasina, Khalida Zia's son.
Sorry.
अरे यार कंफ्यूज मत हो जाओ, पूरा राम को रावण मत बनाओ.
Slip of tongue. Khalida Zia's son, he did all the planning. Who's the head of BNP right now? Now, he is believed to have met ISI officials in London. All the planning of whatever happened in Bangladesh was done along with ISI meticulously in London. And some meetings even happened in Saudi, but that is incidental. So London is where all the planning happened and it got executed. Now, where did the money come from? Money is believed to have come from China, and the money was directly routed into Pakistan. How? When Chinese contractors are there, what we discussed in the end game last week or last week, I told you, when Chinese contractors are there, the biggest threat which countries have is wherever Chinese contractors are, you will get the money to destroy that country in the local currency. There is no need to do hawala. There is no need to do money laundering. You can have the money available in the local currency, and that money can be used to destroy the country. Here, money was made available by Pakistani partners of Chinese contractors in Pakistan, because Chinese are doing a lot of projects in Pakistan. The money was made available locally, and that money was used to cause all the disruption. Because the people who have been looting things, who have been doing all kind of things, if you look at their age, they look to be 35 to 45. I don't know who at 45, how can a beard man be a student of 10th, 12th, or which Sanskrit or which poetry is he studying at the age of 45? I don't know. So Jamaati hand was there. Now, Why did China do it? And what is so? UK has been involved, and UK's imprint is there. China's imprint is there. Pakistan's ISI role is clearly defined, and even our sources tell us the same. Now, what is US also has got a role to play with it? That US wanted. Look, the situation is as follows. There are two countries that are neighboring to each other: Myanmar and Bangladesh. Myanmar, we cannot talk a lot because of national security constraints. I have been telling you a lot of things in Myanmar are going the Chinese way. Myanmar is one more problem which might come up in any point of time. Take my words today. I'm stretching my neck and telling you, Myanmar is one more problem which might come up in any part of the time in due course, because China has got a good hold of there. And let me also tell you something which you will know, or I don't know, is it out in the media? Let me tell you of this. There is also this group of 8 terrorist organizations, which is called, I forgot their name. It is, it's 8 terrorist organizations which are there. And what is their objective? Now, these all 8 organizations are in Rakhine province. Rakhine is where we have the maximum border sharing with Myanmar. And Arakan's army is a part of that alliance. Arakan's army put together is a part of that 8 alliance. You call them an 8, you call them a league. I can't remember the first name. It slipped my mind when I was talking to you. So it's called some league. If I remember the name, I'll let you know. Now, that is the league. Now, the idea is of a 𝗎𝗍𝘂𝘁 state, which is like a Christian state which they want to carve out of India. So they are eyeing Mizoram, they are eyeing Manipur, and they are eyeing a part of Myanmar, whereas Christian-dominated states they want to carve out. Now, this is again Chinese plan to disrupt India. Now, when Myanmar is getting the Chinese way, so Americans were worried. Americans thought that they are losing the game. And what does China want? China wants access to Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh. And I told you 3 weeks back rather, that Sheikh Hasina, when the Chinese trip failed, I told you that Sheikh Hasina went there. Chinese asked her, we want access to Myanmar through Bangladesh because we want to give these rebels the arms, which Sheikh Hasina denied. I cannot let you lose my soil because these groups are going to work against India. Let there be no doubt on it. So, but when she refused them, there was a problem. Now, coming back to the American story, Americans wanted when the in Myanmar, when the influence of China was increasing, Americans got worried, they got paranoid, so they wanted an air base. There's a talk of St. Martin Island, which is just somewhere near St. Martin Island or Chittagong. They told Sheikh Hasina, give us an air base in any of the places, because who is the biggest trading partner of Bangladesh? Where does the money from Bangladesh come from? It comes from America. Where do those $35-40 billion come from? It comes from America. This is where the St. Martin's Island is, or Chittagong. You say, we want to make an air base because China is kind of getting up in Myanmar. And let me tell you, there are also American-supported terrorist or rebel organizations in Myanmar. It's not only China. American also is doing something. And there are a few other countries which are also doing something. But if you ask me who's ruling the roost, the Chinese are ruling the roost in Myanmar. So, but India has very good arrangements or very good support from the junta, which is the present military government. But honestly, they are losing control. This Rakhine province, if you pull the map of Myanmar, is where we are facing them. Their province is the epicenter of Chinese influence now. So Myanmar is something which we need to be really be careful about, because in my opinion, that is something which is going to come up. So Sheikh Hasina denied this. Oh, I'm not going to let you this. Sheikh Hasina denied Chinese, I'll not give you access to the Bay of Bengal. And when all these powers got upset, you see the turmoil started exactly when Sheikh Hasina, China trip failed, because Sheikh Hasina was told in a very nice way, why should we give money to you? We'll give it to somebody who agrees to our terms. So Chinese got her there, humiliated her there. Sheikh Hasina went with a band, Baja Bharat, that's saying that, I'm going to get all the money and everything, and she got nothing in the return. When she got humiliated, then even after, within a week of this student protest started. If student protest was the epicenter of everything, I have 5 questions to ask. When in the July, the Supreme Court of Bangladesh brought down the reservation again to 5%, then what was the reason of having this? Student protest? Technically, it was settled. Have you seen 45-year-old students stealing the lingeries of a prime minister and stealing the saris and the dustbins? No. You look at their faces, look at the caps they are wearing. They are all Jamatis. Point number 3. What does it got to do with Nalai Takbir Allahu Akbar? Nothing. Why? What are ISIS flags doing there? Why did you do a jailbreak and took out all the jihadis and radical elements? Why Khalida Ziad was released? Why the hand-picked general of Sheikh Hasina revolted against her, who is incidentally Hajijaji, practically speaking? Right? Why did he revolt against her? Just let her go alive. That is the biggest favor he did. And with all these things happening, Sheikh Hasina's son yesterday gives a statement. She is not interested in politics. She is never going to make a comeback. No politician gives up till the end of his life. Why do you want to give up and announce you are giving up? Because that was a deal which was cut. And yesterday I told you there will be a couple of ministers of Bangladesh who will be killed. At least 3 ministers of Sheikh Hasina's cabinet are detained. What will happen to them? We don't know. What is going to be their eventuality? We don't know. Will they survive? Will they go to jail, or will they be killed? We don't know. And if you look at the history of Bangladesh, there have been instances where coups have happened within 1 week, within 15 days. One coup, then another coup, and another coup. Most of the times, this country is again ruled by military. The civilian governments have never survived too long there. Now, Pakistan, China have been playing their game. Americans added fuel to the fire by, kind of making this issue big and making it a gross human rights violation, questioning the election, questioning the legitimacy of the government. The whole Western cabal went into it and say, look, this is what it has done, and how students are killed, how kids are killed, made it a big mess on the social media. The problem with Sheikh Hasina is that, she could, with India's support, she could manage the American side or the Western side. But when China went against her, and the Jamatis and all have been doing this for months, and Khalida Zia's son was doing this with ISI for quite some time. Chinese funded the money. This is how it rolled. Now, what is the position today? Now, it was believed that she will be going to UK. But UK, Mr. Stammer, the new Prime Minister, said that UK is not kind of open to giving political asylums to anybody and everybody. So he is trying to send a message that we are not going to give you a political asylum unless and until we are in a mood to give, or we consider it favorable to give. He didn't name Sheikh Hasina, but the message was very clearly oriented for Sheikh Hasina. Now, US has revoked her visa. She had a US visa, sir. It was revoked. Now, the question is, why does US need to revoke her visa? We all know why. So, Pakistani angle, everybody's angle is here. She is going to be here. And what is our problem going to be there? Our problem there is going to be, which Dr. Jaishankar highlighted today, which I was talking since yesterday. We do not want to, unfortunately, have a Benghazi-like situation in Bangladesh. He said that our consulates are here, the sub-consulates are in these 3 places, and we expect the current dispensation, that is the army or whoever is in the control, to give us adequate security and protection of our people. India has 19,000 people there. Out of that, I think 9,000 are students, or most of them are back. Still, we are around 10,000 Indian nationals who live in Bangladesh, and a lot of knitting industry is owned by Indians but running out of Bangladesh. Maybe Bangladesh had more profits, so they decided to set up shop there. Now, all of their profits is gone, all of their money is gone. What more is gone? Sheikh Hasina had promised us we will build the Teesta Dam, which we talked on PGurus. Now, that dam is down the drain. Power plant down the drain. All the contracts we had with Bangladesh, they are down the drain. And now there's a political vacuum. And the people who are setting in the vacuum are taking the use of hardcore Islam and Islamist agendas to stay in the power, which happens in every Islamic country. This is nothing new. And what is the world talking about, sir? Iran says we are with you. Pakistan says we are with you. And a lot of Islamic countries have slowly started coming and saying we are with you. There's no problem. And now you will tell me, look, Sumit bhai, these are all illiterate Jamatis. They are illiterate people. They can do anything. Let me take you to Mr. Yunus Muhammad, the Nobel laureate of Bangladesh, the only one, I believe. He has said yesterday that Bangladesh is kind of broken free from shackles. It has been reborn yesterday. And now the same Yunus, who was very close to Clinton Foundation, and who has been getting money from the Clinton Foundation, is now the advisor to the current dispensation. The current dispensation's advisor is Muhammad Yunus, Nobel laureate, the great Nobel laureate. And if he understands economics and all, he knows his country is gone 10 years back in time. But he doesn't care. So this is, where the players are joining. US is kind of backtracking. Yunus is up, is projected up. And UK is saying, I'll not give you the visa. She's in India. She doesn't know where to go. And there's a lot of resentment building against India because they are saying, killer Hasina. Killer Hasina. If you want, sir, I have one proof of evidence which I got from a source in Bangladesh. If you have permission, can I play the audio?
Yeah.
I will adjust. Take me a second. I'll just play the audio, and they have been warning me, not me. I mean, trying to say, oh, don't keep her. Yeah, Sheikh Hasina now in West Bengal, and we want to make sure that Sheikh Hasina being accountable, get punished for the crimes she committed against the humanity in Bangladesh. So please protest to welcome Sheikh Hasina in India. Okay, please protest against this welcome of this killer Hasina. Okay, and not welcome Hasina in your country. So this is from
Sumit accent kuch alag. This accent looks a little different, Sumit ji. What accent is this?
It's a Bangladeshi accent. This is somebody from the Bangladesh, a source who is saying, kind of warning, do not welcome her into India because she is killer Hasina. And what happened? Now, after Sheikh Hasina landed in India, all the temples of Bangladesh are getting vandalized one after one. Hindus are targeted, their shops are looted, their houses are being burnt. It is happening at an industrial scale. Dr. Jaishankar did mention about that, and we are concerned about that, but on the ground, it is not happening. All our sources, whoever they are running for their life. Now, 𝗤𝙑𝙤 Adhikari also already said yesterday there can be 1 crore people who could come over to India. Now, Awami League guys are saying also we want to come to India, right? So, this is a very clear move which has been planted by Pakistan, and America is there in the backdrop somewhere, then Pakistan and China. But if you ask me who did right now, earlier Americans tried, it didn't go through. But this time, what it was a joint venture between Pakistanis and Chinese, because at the end of the day, Chinese betrayed or backstabbed Sheikh Hasina, and she could not receive the reading on the wall, and she could not control the Khalida Zia's son or whatever. So this all happened. So this is where the things are. This is how it is going to happen. All the Islamic सबके सामने बीर पी रही है, सबके सामने बीर पी रही है. ये भाई ये this is black tea, boss. I have not tasted beer in my whole life. Tasted. Ye black tea hai. I always have black tea, and I don't use bone china because it is smeared with animal bones. So I use gilas, or I use steel ka gilas hota na hamaara. I use that. So it's black tea. There's no beer. You would have seen me a lot of times. I'll be a tea bag getting and dipping into it.
I think people just want to try and get a rise out of us. Let's get back to the point. Sumit, I'm a little concerned that this one small island, St. Martin's Island, has now become the bone of contention for 2 countries. Both China and the United States are lusting after it. And let's just go in a little bit more. In fact, if you zoom in a lot, I have a zoomed in lot, there is a base already there. Oh, there you go. There's a base already there. And look down, the southernmost tip of that is the southernmost tip of Bangladesh. That's where Bangladesh ends. And you have now this particular base. This is what both US and China are after. It's believed that the United States wanted this when they were giving, I think, $3 billion loan, IMF loan. And I think, Sheikh Hasina said no. And so I would not rule out the role of US in this as much as China also stands to believe, because if they get hold of St. Martin's Island, then US cannot threaten China. See, this is one area where US doesn't have a presence. 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙀 Garcia is miles down south. So this is a possibility that the whole issue is about or around this. But like we said before, viewers, this is our four episodes. We've already talked about what is happening about Bangladesh, and we were ahead of our time. Unfortunately, we were proved right. We wanted to be not proved right, but we have been proved right. And where we think things are going now is, all I can accept, Sumitji, but I don't understand why the United States would reject the visa of Sheikh Hasina, because there are 2 sides to this also. Apparently, her son has come on Republic TV and said that it has not been rejected. And there's another story I'm seeing saying that US does not reveal the information about rejection or allowing visas. That's something that is classified. So I don't know whether this is just a news to try and paint US, in a bad light. Now you see, this misinformation is going to go through a lot. This whole thing, like Sumit said, the whole thing was made up to try and get a rise out of a few disgruntled youth, maybe youth or middle age, whatever you want to call them, right?
They didn't look students by any means, sir. When I looked at the videos, they are 35 to 45 is the average age. How so?
Right.
In which country you are 45 year students? I mean, people who are 1 year younger or 2 years younger to me, how they can be students? I mean, I was a student 20 years back. मतलब अभी पढ़ रहे हैं क्या पढ़ रहे हैं भाई? अच्छा ये अच्छा मैं so that is the point. I am very perplexed, Sree sir, by seeing ISIS flags. These atrocities against Hindus, vandalization of temples, these all is a serious bone of contention. I mean, why Hindus are targeted? And we have tried to cover, when our Dalit brothers were told to convert to Islam, otherwise we'll bulldoze your houses, which was in that, Dhaka, where they were giving that land to Chinese. We tried to cover that. And how in Rajshahi again that things were not working in our favor. I think if I look into it, my assessment of the situation and what my sources tell me, current thing is completely driven by China. Americans might have added fuel to it. It's like kisi ka ghar jal raha, let me put some more kerosene to it. That is quite possible. But the first move which they failed, now this move is a Chinese move, and which is completely facilitated by ISI. Because look, when you destroy Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's statue, you know the mentality of the people behind it. When you let these jihadis and these hardcore radicals out in a jailbreak, you know the mentality about it. Because this is what talks about a pure Jamaati and Pakistani handle, and Pakistani hand. And there are also rumors which talk about that fake Twitter handles were created, and Jamaati's student wing was infiltrated and to flare up their passions. It might have started as a student protest, but it did not end as a student protest. And let me tell you, sir, my sources are also telling the current general, whatever his name is, he's been bought by China. And when we told them on PGurus channel that the inner coterie of Sheikh Hasina, including the political advisor, is on China's payrolls, everybody was shouting at us. Are kisne bol diya bhai? Now you see how this all happened. Her innermost coterie was bought over by China. The general is bought over by China, and people are even putting a number. I don't want to put a number. People are even putting a number. This is the money he has been promised, and in the return that he has to manage the things for China. And what is the ultimate objective? Ultimate objective of China is to start a third front for India. Now you have Pakistan, you have China, and now after yesterday, and when we wake up today morning, we have a third front open. Look, Sheikh Hasina is not going to go back to power. Sree sir, haven't I been talking about one factor repeatedly? What if Sheikh Hasina conks off, where we are having a big vacuum in Bangladesh? Who's going to fill that vacuum? How are we going to handle Bangladesh? And we know China is inching there close. We must have a plan B. We must have something if Sheikh Hasina conks off. When we say we have a very cordial relation with Bangladesh, we should have refrained from our statement and said we have a very cordial relation with Sheikh Hasina. When you say, there's a difference of having a cordial relation with Donald Trump and having a cordial relation with America. When I say America, that means whoever is in America's seat of power, I have a cordial relation with him. Otherwise, I should say I have a cordial relation with Donald Trump, or I have a cordial relation with Sheikh Hasina. This is the argument. This is the logic, Sree sir, I've been trying to fight here on TV, on YouTube for so many times. No, we have a very cordial relation with Sheikh Hasina, and Sheikh Hasina is not Bangladesh and will not be Bangladesh forever. There's a problem we are facing there. Now, what has happened to our years of good work? What has happened to our things? I think there's still we can salvage a lot of things, but unfortunately, with these things, we have a emergence of a third front, which has happened from Bangladesh, and now we have to manage our situations very, very carefully vis-a-vis Bangladesh. And that is why I've been always saying that it is better to reinforce your army, reinforce your borders, spend more money on arsenal, spend more money on weaponry. Don't try to please your neighbors. Don't try to extend undue favors, and don't try to win hearts and minds of Muslim countries. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Could America do it? America pumped $50 trillion into Middle East so far. What is the result? Result is when Anthony Blinken had to wear a bulletproof jacket when he landed in Baghdad. That is the proof. The receipt hai. 50 trillion ka receipt pakda diya. He was wearing a bulletproof jacket. Because it's not he's a Jew. It's not he's a person. He is the External Affairs Minister of United States of America. If he needs to wear a bulletproof jacket, that tells you the money is down the drain. You are afraid that somebody might put a bullet in him. If that after $50 trillion this is the result, whom are we trying to buy? What are we trying to get? Because in Islamic countries, treaties and all are toilet paper somewhere down the line there. They will go down the drain. Now, whatever you have done and achieved, you have to start from all over again. And to the political master who is in power, and we don't know how long the political master is going to be in power, because the history of Bangladesh has even seen coups in 10 days intervals. So even this general will be there. Will somebody else come? And let me be very honest with you, sir. This general worked against the interest of India, right? He worked against the interest of India, behest of China, behest of Pakistan, behest of US, whatever. China and Pakistan, he worked against the interest of India. My problem here is that how can people live in Bangladesh, work against the interest of India and yet feel safe and secured? Because the problem is we are perceived as a soft state. We have not done things like Qasem Soleimani. We have not done what Israel do to Ismail Haniyeh. And I'm telling you, Nasrallah is next on the line. So they have not done that. I mean, Yahya Sinwar is a dead man walking. But we have not done that. So this general could have the audacity, would have the courage to, collide or to have this joint venture with the enemies of the India and to hurt enemies in India's interests, because we have let our image happen like that. We are not seen as a tough state. Tell me, if it is China in place of India, would he dare to do that? Would he dare to do that? Because
sorry, sir. Sumitji, I think you meant collude, not collide. No, collude is collision.
Well, that is when they have done a joint venture. If they have done a joint venture against the interest of India, if it was, imagine it was China here and India wanted to do this, would he dare to do it? Because he knows he will be wiped. But this America is there. Will he go against the interest of America? Will he go against the interest of Russia? No, he will not dare to go. Or Israel, chota sa Israel, this much is Israel. And Israel can make the half of the world dance to its tunes because they know Israel will come and hit them and take them out. Now, you see, if I am not trying to generalize the things, if you look at, for example, the biggest mafias of the world, the biggest warlords of the world, when you take out a couple of key guys, the organizations get, broken off. They're shattered. They're ineffective. What happened in, for example, let me take an example down home. What happened in UP? What happened in UP after Atiq Ahmed and his family was taken out? Where is the gang today? Is he operational today? No, he's not. So that is another aspect which we have to see. And what is the plight of Hindus in Bangladesh? Will we intervene? Should we intervene? Isn't it time? I am demanding, this is the goddamn time, because let's increase our chicken neck by 100 kilometers here, 100 kilometers there. Let's end the problem of chicken neck now. It's the time to act and show this general, uski औकात गिनाएंगे, he's a very weak person. क्या Bangladesh army हमारे सामने? Why don't we go and take our chicken neck, 100 kilometers here, 100 kilometers there, and divide the Bangladesh by, this is Hindu area and this is Muslim area. Let Hindus live in Hindu area, Muslims live in Muslim area, and there's nothing called chicken neck. Now it's a 200 kilometer stretch. Why are we limited to this much of stretch? This is the time. Our trust, our interests have been betrayed, and it was done on the behest of China and Pakistan. I mean, Sheikh Hasina tried to salvage whatever she can, but there's a limit to everybody. We let it happen. And ultimately, we have to protect Sheikh Hasina, whatever the cost is. That's not a given. But don't you think it's the time to broaden the chicken neck? Don't you think the time is to now finally come and take our interest? We as a country, if we are scared of war, we are scared of body bags, we are scared of protecting our interests, then enemies will get more and more emboldened. And there will be a day everybody will kind of will take you for a ride. And I want to make another point. If today, the Bangladesh model is very simple. Mobilize a few lakh people on the streets, do mayhem, do arson, do anarchy. Police takes the action, army takes the action. Few people get killed. When few people get killed, then you bring down an elected government. If this is the new SOP, then why do 1 billion people need to vote? Stop voting, na? Then let's have the muscle power. Who can get how many people on the road? Then he is the king. Then how it happens in Afghanistan, it will be a Mirzapur. Sabse bada Bahubali kaun hai? Then whoever is the biggest Bahubali, let him become the ruler, na? Now, Bangladesh is a very dangerous case study. You mobilize crowds, a few people will get killed, and a few people will get killed. You will bring an elected government down on their knees and you will do whatever to do. And I want to make this point, which was in my mind. I had almost forgotten it. If you look yesterday in Bangladesh, sir, I am telling you based on my experience and based on my sources, army people are shit scared of army, shit scared. If there's an army, one truck, now nobody will come 1 kilometer near to it. Because Bangladesh army is considered ruthless. Yesterday, army did not protect Sheikh Hasina. When her palace was vandalized, army guys were sitting. I told you, I have seen these army guys and there's somebody on their head waving ISIS flag. They did not do anything, sir. Army chose not to do anything. Army abandoned Sheikh Hasina. Now this general should be questioned later. Who paid you how much? Why did you abandon your prime minister? What did you do to bloody protect your prime minister? You did nothing. Because you choose to do nothing. Because you were paid to do nothing. Because I speak the truth and people don't dare to speak the truth. They are still talking in between their eyes. ये हो गया, वो गया, CIA ने किया, उसने किया. अरे भाई, जिसने किया उससे पूछो ना. I mean, CIA will do what is in their interest. China will do what is in their interest. What are we doing what is in our interest? What did that general do? Why did he sell his country? Why did he sell his motherland? Is this the way to tell a prime minister, leave in 45 minutes or I will kill you? This is what happens in Islamic countries. And today, a lot of people still believe it is uncouth of a typical Islamic country where you let a leader go alive, you will ideally kill him. This is what has happened, sir. It is a serious turn of events. And swear to God, my people who are running for their life there, whatever sources I have, they're running for life. And most of them are Hindu. They're running for their life. They're saying, Sumit bhai, you cannot even imagine what is happening here. What you see is not even the tip of the iceberg. It is all anarchy. It is anybody's game today. Anything can happen. And let me tell you another thing. Some of my sources are reporting that China has dumped a lot of arsenal in Bangladesh. I have been questioning, what is China's arsenal doing in Bangladesh? Why does China need to dump a lot of arsenal in Bangladesh? Are we aware of that? What are we doing to counter that? What if one more front is opened through? Now we were contemplating China and Pakistan. What if something from Bangladesh opens up against us? And we are not much prepared to handle that. When we were not even knowing yesterday Sheikh Hasina will come and land up in Hindon. I mean, it all came as a surprise. Now are we waiting for another Chinese surprise to come? There are some serious questions which are being put out. And there are a lot of people who will not ask them, but there are a lot of patriots who will have the courage to ask these questions. Now, what are we doing there? Why don't we widen the chicken neck item and call it a day? This is our opportunity. Turning calamity into an opportunity is what is Rajniti, is what the powerful country should do. But if we still choose not to do anything, then sir, kya kare? Then it's the good old ostrich policy. Let's look here and there. Let's talk about here and there. I mean, forget what Americans did. Forget what China did. Forget what ISI did. What are we going to do now? हमें क्या करना साहब? ये तो बता दो मालिक. उनको जो करना था कर लिया ना. Now what is our next move? Are we just waiting, keeping BSF there and telling them not to shoot anybody? That is what will be the instruction. Goli mat chalana. Right? So, you know, what is the new precedent we are setting? The trend here is this model is being, I'm telling you today, this model of anarchy is being tested in Bangladesh. It's a matter of time it will be tried in India. And if we do not show our courage, if we do not show the courage of eliminating perpetrators wherever they are, following an Israeli model, this will wait for a few months. You will see this model somewhere being replicated within India. Maybe it will be replicated in Delhi, if I'm not wrong. But what are we doing? Are we showing that courage? How does this general dare to go against our interests? How his lifeline is not shortened by this time? I'll be direct. If somebody's lifeline has to be shortened, shorten that goddamn lifeline. If America can do Qasem Soleimani, we have every right to do whatever we want to do in our interest. Ismail Haniyeh was disposable. He was taken out. Kya kar liya duniya ne Israel ka? What did dunya do to Israel? I'm telling you, they'll take out Nasrallah. I'm telling you, they will take out Yahya Sinwar. Take it in writing from me. They will take both of them out. Kuch nahi karegi dunya. Iran will keep on talking, doing nothing because they know it will come to their doorstep. This is what is required, sir. I mean, if we leave this opportunity, let's set a message. Let's send a very, very clear message to the world. You mess with India, we will decimate you. And this general is a Chinese puppet, is a Chinese stooge. We have to do diplomatically what we have to do. But beyond that time, your diplomacy doesn't work. Your money doesn't work. Today, people are not scared of America because of American diplomacy, or they are not bought because of American money. What they fear America because it's America's military power. Why does whole Middle East kneel down to America? Because they know American can come and level the Middle East. They're scared of that. Why are they scared of Israel? They know it's the firepower of Israel. So if we don't demonstrate that firepower, if we don't demonstrate that courage, then there's no point of having and possessing that firepower because it's useless then. Sorry, it is of no use. You can have them, you can display them, you can talk about them, you can make videos about them, but use nahi kar paoge, sir.
Thank you, Sumit ji. I just have a couple of observations and then we can throw open the floor for questions. First one is, now I'm also hearing that Finland is offering asylum for Sheikh Hasina, or they're negotiating that. That's another possibility. But if that be the case, then I don't think US would have refused her visa. Listen, if they have to go to West, if she has to move to West, it cannot happen without the US's blessing.
Correct.
Okay, so whether UK made the general statement or not, whether US has denied visa or not, all these things could be disinformation coming out of China. So my 2 cents is, I don't know if India can do this or not, is that, look, when we presented this chart and said that if the Hindus in Bangladesh are continued to be troubled, this is one way to solve this problem, is to create a buffer zone and then start doing a land exchange program where the Hindus get into the buffer and the Muslims get out of the buffer and go and occupy the Hindu land. India can even work on trying to make the exchange a free and fair one. All that can be done. In fact, now, when we said this thing last time, Sheikh Hasina had not been ousted. Now, there's a golden opportunity for India. Just get that area and make the buffer as and keep her as the head of that. See, she is still an elected prime minister. Everybody else is a selected one. And what is so great about this guy that he has to be given a Nobel Prize? How many of us know that a few PIs from Bengaluru actually created the huge banking infrastructure that exists in India today? Syndicate Bank, Central Bank, Canara Bank, Vysya Bank. I can just Union Bank of India. I can go on and on. Every one of this bank was created in this small area around Bengaluru and Udupi. All of them are now huge banks, and that's not a big deal. With banks that cover billions, just because somebody did, this is all gas, right? This Nobel Prize thing is a gas. Nobody should be looking for it. It's all completely cooked up with some left loonies running it. Don't even care about it. Just move on. That's not the be all and end all in life. That's all I would say. So let's take some questions, Sumitji. Jaya Raman wants to know, can we come out of this crisis? I'm really concerned.
Jaya Ramanji, honest answer is we don't know right now what is the intensity, what is the depth, and what is the length and breadth of crisis. Only in some point of time we'll know. But I think it is the time India's interest has been betrayed. Let's go and take our pie, what deserves to us, and let's protect Hindus of Bangladesh, and let's start talking vocal about the Hindu rights. We are not going to run a secularism marathon next time in Olympics. We're not going to be the flag bearers of international secularism. Let's try to protect our Hindu brothers of Bangladesh. Let's try to protect our interests, and let's try to send a message to the world: do not mess with India. Let's broaden our chicken neck 100 kilometers here, 100 kilometers there. This is our time. Sree sir was right. Ye opportunity, this is the godsend opportunity. You throwed your prime minister out, and a Muslim prime minister could not get refuge in 57 Muslim countries. She trusted a Hindu country to come. That is our credibility. Now use that credibility and whack this Bangladeshi general out of the power and teach him his lesson and send his message to his Chinese masters and Pakistani stooges, whomever he is. I don't want to use that word. Yahan tak aa gaya tha, but you know what I meant to.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Bharat has a bad neighborhood. Yes, yet it has coped well, especially after Modi ji came to power. Will we be able to continue in the same way? Shudder to imagine how it would be under other governments.
If there was other government, we have been already in a big disaster. So now the problem is that, you see, Bharat is the Israel of the South Asia or Asia, whichever one you call it. You are surrounded by countries which are essentially Muslim dominated, and with a Muslim dominated country you cannot have peace. Treaties do not work. In Islamic world there is nothing called peace, there is nothing called treaty. Has the Middle East still settled its scores? They've been fighting for decades now. They have killed millions of people. Have they still settled the scores? No. So if you think you can have treaties, you can have niceties and they will happen, I told you time and again, treaties are only workable and effective to some point of time. They are effective to prevent a war till some point of time. But when the war starts, when the disruption starts, there's no treaty. What about all your treaties with Bangladesh? Can you enforce them today? Only if you have a powerful army, you can enforce those treaties. Imagine you are in Nepal and your neighbor is Bangladesh. What will happen to you? You are gone. They will swallow you. Don't have any doubts on that. So what I'm always saying, sir, is to hit to your size. This coup was done to hurt the interest of India. It was not typically against Sheikh Hasina. China wanted to open a third front against India, and they used this military wala guy to do it. Now, we also have our own options. We also know how to manage things. Let's also show our part of the muscle. Let's show to Chinese our part of the muscle, because it is how it works. Diplomacy only works with power. Dr. Jaishankar said once, only power can ensure peace. I always love that statement. Now, if you want to have peace, show your power. Diplomacy ko jitna karna tha kar liya. Niceties, whatever could do. Beyond that, no. There's a limit to all that.
Next one, please. Subramanian Vishwanathan wants to know whether Bangladesh situation is not a lesson for state governments in India not to pursue divisions.
That is a good lesson, because Bangladesh was not a division. Bangladesh happened, it was East Pakistan. Then in 1971, Indira Gandhi ji kind of broke it into two parts, which was a very good move. And this was very rightfully done by Indira Gandhi ji. And now, I have been talking about the Greater Bangladesh project in our Bangladesh files. Greater Bangladesh project. Now, what are we waiting for? We are waiting for that to become a reality. Greater Bangladesh is a project. It's a project. Even Soumitra Khan, BJP MP in Parliament talked about it. It's not only I am talking about it. He talked about it. By Greater Bangladesh bana rahe hain log. So what are we doing around it? Kya karna hame? Waiting for it to happen? Then one more Hindu exodus from there. Now Hindu exodus seems to have become a yearly phenomenon here. Earlier, it used to be Kashmir, Kerala, Mallapuram, Bengal. The way it is going, I think it will become a yearly phenomena. कि आज इस state से हिंदू निकला, आज इस state से हिंदू निकला. I mean, how long can we carrying the bogey of secularism when your neighbors are run by Islamists? 80% of the people of Bangladesh are highly radicalized people. They believe in this Wahhabi Islam, and in Wahhabi Islam there is no scope for kafirs. Understand? It doesn't. If they are not even living their own Bengali Hindus, which are Bengali brothers, Bangladeshi brothers. So forget us. हम तो 100% काफिर हैं.
Next one, please. Chaitanya Takle wants to know, can India not befriend Waqar-uz-Zaman, the army chief of Bangladesh?
Yeah, befriend se kya hoga? China must have paid him. Let me tell you the number. People say China paid him more than $2 billion. That is what sources claim. Now pay him 4, China will offer him 8. And when he will ask too much, he will be eliminated. Next general will come to the power because he would want to make money. Do you think you can buy jihad by money? No, sir, you cannot buy jihad by money. Jihad can be only controlled by brute power. No, why do all these examples of America pushing $50 trillion so far into Middle East? What has it got them? Has it bought them any favor? No. Why does Middle East scared of America? It's because of the firepower of America. They know what Truman did to Japan. They're scared of that. I will be very candid with you. It's not the money. Defending, koi friend nahi hota. Tomorrow they'll eliminate them. There will be more radical person who will come. Unless until they know that if you go against the interest of India, paisa nahi rahega, jaan bhi nahi rahegi. You lose life and money both. Then there's the only way to prove your interests. Now imagine if somebody does this to Putin. Wagner did this. Poznier, what was his name? Poznier guy. Yeah, wo jahaz gir gaya na. Then suddenly there was an air crash and the poor chap died. Wagner's head. So this is how statecraft is.
Next one, please. Thank you, Optimus Prime. If US proposed Christian land near Bangladesh, why shall we not declare India as Hindu land?
Bilkul 101% hona chahiye. It should have been declared long back. Even if we declare it today, I will be dancing on my one leg. And I'll be throwing a big party. It should be declared immediately. It should be declared. Even with 85% of the Hindu population, if it is not declared a Hindu Rashtra, then what are we waiting for? We will declare it in Pakistan or in Bangladesh or Chittagong or in Siberia. I don't know where.
Muthukumar Sundaram wants to know, Sumitji, do tell what Bharat ought to do to secure our interests in neighborhood. Elaborate steps and have a series of programs. Tell what to be our contribution as civil society also.
I'll tell from the civil society's point of view, we have to be aware and you have to push from which our social media and all you are. What I've been telling, Sree sir, I have always get this question, kya karna chahiye? I said, make in India. Take manufacturing to 10x. Take your IP to 10x, right? Take your economy to 10x, take your defense to 10x. You need a much bigger, stronger army, much bigger army, which can handle even a 3, 4, 5 front war. I've been telling you, When I used to tell that, China will come with 4 or 5 or 6 Muslim countries to attack us, it's a matter of time. People used to say, when I used to take name of Bangladesh, अरे सुमित भाई, we have very cordial relations with Bangladesh. Cordial. यहाँ हमने ना क्या बोलो अंग्रेजी ज्यादा सीख लिया भाई. Cordial relations with Bangladesh. अब कहाँ cordial relations? शेख हसीना के साथ आई थी, शेख हसीना के साथ गई. Today, can you say you have cordial relations with Bangladesh? Today, do you think Bangladesh's land cannot be used against you? No, you cannot say that. So where are those cordial relations? This is how geopolitics changes. But if your army is much robust, it is 5 times, 10 times the strength, nobody will dare to come here. This is the only strength. Why I've been shouting my lungs, increase the defense budget. If you don't have the money, put 2% cess on everything. Let's pay the money. Let civil society will pay the money. We'll pay the money. Yaar, ek airport kam banao, ek road kam banao. First give them the money. I am not against Agniveer, but have the normal recruitments also on. Double, triple the size. If there are 20 companies of BSF, maybe we need to put 50, 100. I don't know. I'm not a military expert. Put those companies, give them the ultra modern weapons and give them the license to kill. And send a message to everybody who works against the interest of India. Your lifeline will be shortened, whichever way. If Israel has the right to do it, America has the right to do it, Russia has the right to do it. Why are we scared of? Why are we chickening out from that? Why we are trying to be more liberal than the liberals and more secular than the seculars? क्या ये secularism का कोई हमें flag bearer बनना है next Olympic में? Is there going to be a contingent of international secularism where we are going to be the flag bearers of that? No. Look for our national interest first.
Next one, please. Dr. Chetan, thank you so much. How come a PM is allowed to flee in a coup with suitcases and bags? Bangladesh's army chief is a relative of Sheikh Hasina. He became chief 6 weeks ago. India may have hand in gloves with the CIA.
India has nothing to do with this. India would not want to do with this. Sir, we have lost everything what we have earned, unfortunately, in last so many years. India would be the last person on planet Earth to want Sheikh Hasina to go. So it is China. I have explained to you, China, ISI, and Americans have haath pair into it. I'm not saying that. But all this planning was done in UK, between ISI, Khalida Zia's son, and China funded all the money and gave all the support what was required, including the social media support, and everything was managed by China. Let's be clear about that. India never ever will want to do it, even in the baddest of bad dreams. India ka koi role nahi.
Next one, please. Thought provocateur, thank you so much. Is Desi 007 𝗤𝗏 any good as we all lose ground? We lose all ground, all around.
You don't know whatever ground we have gained and whatever ground we have protected. When you play, you see, when you play anything, you can't win all the time. There will be sometimes there will be hits and misses, but you don't have to blame it at the Mr. 𝗤𝗏. You have to blame it at the strategy. Look, I don't know who these unknown gunmen are. India has nothing to do with them. But whoever these unknown gunmen are, they're doing a fantastic work. So there was somebody decided something and somebody activated something and something got activated. And by the virtue of that something hit something and something is hitting something, right? Some people call them unknown gunmen. I don't know who they are.
Somebody is going to get hurt real bad. Somebody.
I don't know. But one goddamn decision, ठोक दो. That is what is needed. This Bangladeshi chief should be scared of his life. If he's not scared of his life, then it's not good news for us. Because when people know, what will you do with the money when your life will not be there? पैसे का क्या करोगे, जिंदगी नहीं बचेगी तो.
Next one, please. NN wants to know, sir, people follow their leaders. If India can identify and eliminate masterminds at the earliest, who would revolters follow? Also, India needs to identify and reinforce pro-India forces in Bangladesh.
I'm telling you this. I'm telling you why I'm quoting unknown gun. I'm telling you this. There are some things wherein strategic eliminations need to happen. And these strategic eliminations are very much required for the protection of 1.45 billion people. 145 लोगों की सही सलामती के लिए, if some hardcore decisions have to be taken, they have to be taken. And it doesn't matter where the perpetrator lives, whichever country he is. What we have to do, we have to do. I've been always advocating strengthen our army. I've been always talking, have a separate ministry of internal security, give them a big budget. Give them a big budget, because a lot of trouble can be even fermented here. I'm talking about you. This is Bangladesh is a model which will be tried here. How many months, sir? Around a year, I've been talking about a patriot-like act in India. Nahi kar rahe. Kya kare? It's not their suggestions are not.
Yeah. Alpha Max, thank you so much. Our intelligence raw failed in Manipur, Afghanistan crisis, Sri Lanka crisis, and now Bangladesh. There are some serious problems in raw resources. Thoughts?
𝗤𝗏𝗼𝙥𝙥, today a lot of people fear raw because of the kind of operations raw has done recently. Raw doesn't take action unless and until told to. Raw will do if you give them some job, and they will do it at the cost of their life and blood also. And they have done. We have seen instances. I don't want to narrate them, but there are some instances in the public forum wherein people are paid with their sweat and blood, but raw goes and settles the account. But the challenge is that, do we have a go-ahead for the raw to do it? Do you think raw would have not told them? Raw would have told, would have informed that something like this is happening. But how much do we want to go out and do it? That is the question we'll take. And tomorrow, if somebody decides that, there was a time in Kashmir, I'll tell you, sir, when there was an army encounter, there were cases put on the army people. You know why? You violated the human right of the terrorist. Did you ask him to surrender? Why didn't you fire in the air? That bloody idiot will come with a AK on a burst mode, which fires 80 rounds in a minute. And you ask a person with a SLR, why didn't you fire in the air? How I fire kahe ko nahi kiya? Terrorist has bloody human rights. This has been happening there. But you let her settle it. There was an encounter in Hyderabad. Police did it. They were all sent to the jail. Now, Baba does 8 encounters in a day in UP. Now, how many people have you sent to the jail? He does 5 to 8 encounters in a day. That is how he is able to control the UP. Now, if you ask the man in army carrying SLR rifle, you are against a Kalashnikov, then you ask him, Ki bhai, did you fire in the air? Why did you allow the terrorist not to surrender? What about the human rights of the terrorist? This is all canard which is being done. Once you let it go away, all these bogies, all these human rights activities, sab ghar baith gaye. All they were at home. They don't now come up and make a ruckus. It's how much of leverage you want to give them. But you want to send army to Kashmir with hands tied up, then put a dartboard also on their head, na, ki yahan goli marna. I mean, what the hell is happening? Because we want to please one particular community there. We want to keep them happy. We don't want to be seen anti-Muslim. So, and a lot of people, when my blood burns when they say on TV, oh, in Kashmir, we have been instances where we have taken many casualties but not fired. And I have seen these senior people talking on TV. And if as a country, we are happy with terrorists killing our people and we don't fire because there was some XYZ reasons, we have taken a lot of casualties. So what are our people disposable? What are our army jawans disposable? I mean, this is all encouragement. Ek baar lafda hoga, sir. There will be a ruckus once. But after that, you will send a very strong message. Don't mess with the army. Don't mess with the army. Army is not there to cajole you. These what the AK-7s and AK-203s they are going to carry, they are not for Hawaii fire. There is not a ceremonial fire. Shadi ki barat mein firing nahi ho rahi hai. This is basically to eliminate, killed.
Next one, please. Thank you, Samir Kumar Singh. Thank you, 𝗤𝙧𝙤 That brings us to a close of today's session. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Namaskar to everybody. First of all, friends, please like this video, share, and subscribe. It's very, very important to like this. Anybody who has not liked this, I request you kindly like this. Please. Now, Abhi, press that button. So on that note, Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram, and Har 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 Mahadev.
Mahadev.